And welcome back to Let's Talk Chicago Bears. Why not, right? It's Friday. And I know everybody's happy it's Friday. Um, just another day, right? And I just wanted to give a shout out to Walter today. Actually, on Wednesday, I believe it was Wednesday, was the 19th anniversary of his passing. So God love you, man. Greatest football player ever. I don't care what anybody says. I know he was past Emmett Smith, passed him for the most yards, but I don't care. Walter, hands down, best. Um, so let's get going. Let's talk about the Miami game. And then after that, of course, we're going to talk about what everybody's probably been talking about in Illinois, the big trades that happened this week, right? And, Quinn got traded last week, but then this week, we had two. So we're going to talk about that after we go over the usual, my usual stats for the upcoming game. So we play Miami on Sunday in Soldier Field. It's a noon game. Looks like the weather's going to be pretty nice there from what I'm seeing. 60s, no rain. That's awesome. So let's get going. So Miami is 5-3, and we are 3-5. The records are switched. These two teams have played 13 times, and the Bears winning only 4, and Miami winning 9. And Miami has won 4 out of the last 5. So, you know what, Bears? Let's change that on Sunday. Let's you know what? We're not going anywhere. I got a good buddy that I do my podcast with. I do a podcast with this great guy Dan on Wednesday nights. It's called The Lowdown with Dan and Lynn, and he is such an optimist. Although he's 18 years younger than me, and when I was back, you know what? I used to be like that, oh, let's go to the playoffs, it could turn around, this and that. But, after being a fan for since 1975, I don't even know how many years that is, you know what? It kind of wears you down. But I'm always going to be a fan, but I would like to win this game just to kind of, we beat New England a couple weeks ago. We lost last week, obviously, to Dallas. And then, we're going to play Miami, and Miami's good. So I'd like to see the Bears kind of throw a ring in their fun right now, although Miami did help themselves a lot in the trades this week as well. So they did help themselves, especially on defense, because they got Bradley Chubb. So the Bears are going to have to watch out. So let's get to it. So my point was I'd like to beat them. So, okay, Miami, they are third in passing per game. They pass an average of 292 yards. So they're creaming us. We are dead last in pass with 126 yards. But you know what? It's going to get better and better and better. You know what? I'd like to see Justin get into the 200s in yards this week. He's been, flirting with it. So let's see that. But we are dead last in the pass, and I'd like to see us get better at that. The rush, they rush for an average of 88 yards a game. That puts them 28th in the league. And we are first in rush. Rock on, Bears. We are averaging 188 yards a game. So I really want to see that continue. It is huge for the development of Fields to have such a strong running game. And with our offensive line being so bad, the only thing they're good at is opening up the holes for the rush. So let's keep that up because Miami's going to come in trying to stop that. That's going to be their goal and force the Bears to throw, which may not be a bad thing, because Fields is getting better each week. I see improvement the last 3 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks, you see the improvement each week. So I'm digging that. So Miami is scoring around 22 points a game. That puts them 16th in the league. We're only scoring an average of 19 a game. That puts us 23rd. It's better than it was because I think we were like 31st for a while. Points allowed by their defense, they've been giving up about 24 points a game. Let's hope that continues. That puts them 22nd in the league. And we're giving up about 22 points a game. That puts us 19th in the league. So I'd like to see, what happens there. Their defenses are similar, and as far as that goes, We're also somewhat similar with them in scoring points. You know, they've been doing 22, we do 19, so there's not a lot, which kind of surprised me when I saw that because Tula is really doing well, their quarterback, Tunga. Tua. I always pronounce his name wrong. Tua is their quarterback. He has 1,678 yards. He's played in 6 games. He obviously missed some games. This is great. He's got 12 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions, and have been sacked 8 times. So that ratio is really, really good. Fields has got to clean that ratio up a bit. But so Tua can pass. This kid can play. So, and his brother actually is at, oh my God, where is his brother? Shucks. It's not Rutgers. It's the other one. I can't remember. But he's in the Big Ten, his brother, right now. And he's a quarterback, too. So Tua can play. So we're going to our defense is going to have our hands full. Especially the backfield is going to, but we've got a solid backfield. So I'm kind of not super worried. I do believe that they're going to pass, of course, but I believe they're going to try to run the ball more this week because our defensive line is terrible. We can't stop the run. We gave up over 200 yards to Dallas last week, and they didn't even have their number one running back in. So I believe they're going to come out running first, and then so the Bears have got to step up that running game or that run defense. So which we're going to talk about in a bit. So their leading rushers is Mostert. I'm probably murdering that game, but he's got 452 yards currently with 1 touchdown. Edmonds is behind him at 120 yards with 2 touchdowns. So those are their 2 leading rushers. So we are much better at that than rushing. That's for sure. You're going to find out when we get to the Bears. They've got one of the best wide receivers in Tyreek Hill. He's almost got, and what is this, week 9 we're going into? He's got 961 yards already. That's insane. So, you know what? They say, if he keeps this up, he could pass 2,000. Really, really good wide receiver. They got him from, he used to be with Kansas City, but he is now with Miami. He's got 2 touchdowns, so the Bears are going to have their hands full with Tyreek Hill. Then the next guy right behind him has got a damn lot of yards too, is Waddle. He's got 727 yards with 5 touchdowns, and he has fumbled the ball once and lost it. So they've got obviously 2 good wide receivers, and it'll be interesting to see with our backfield, which is, I feel, the best on the Bears defense at this time because our offensive line is terrible. I'm sorry, but it is. That's why we can't stop the run, and our linebackers are average at best, especially now that we got rid of Roquan Smith. So the backfield is our solid part. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. Their defense has 15 sacks. They have 4 interceptions, their defense. They have forced 5 fumbles and recovered 3 of those. So it's pretty comparable, I believe, to our defense. I do believe, off the top of my head, I do know that we have more. When I get to, I'll talk that in a minute, but I know we have more interceptions, and I think we have more fumble recoveries too, but we'll see about that, but I know we have more interceptions. So we're comparable in a lot of these areas, except for they're killing us in the pass and we're killing them in the rush. That's really the big difference right here. Fields, our quarterback now, we're going to talk about ours, has 1,199 yards. Not like Tua at any means. And he's got 7 touchdowns with 6 interceptions. So he's finally flipped the narrative. I'd like to see that interception ratio go up this week. He has rushed for 424 yards, yes, and he has 3 touchdowns rushing. He has been sacked a league high 31 times. That, it just really makes me sad. It pisses me off. It worries me. We have got to turn that around. I don't know if that's going to happen this year, but we've been talking a lot about it. And the offensive line, I don't know. We might get Cody Whitehair back, which would help a lot this week. He has been, he started to play. I haven't really, dummy me, I forgot to check the injury reports. I did not even check them today. What kind of a reporter am I? An old pickled one. So, anyway, so that's Fields' stats. Our rushing. Herbert is leading the rushing right now with 563 yards with 4 touchdowns. Obviously, Fields is second with 424 rushing yards, and David Montgomery is third with 361 yards. He has not paid. He missed one game this season. David has 2 touchdowns. So, the one thing about David, too, is you're going to see he is involved much more in the passing game than Herbert is. And I just love this duo of Herbert and Montgomery. I don't want it to be broken up, but I have a sick feeling because Montgomery's rookie contract's up at the end of this year. Herbert's on his second year, so he's not going anywhere. But so David, I would love to see them keep him, but it depends what he's asking. But the chances are we probably won't see him next year on the team. But you never know. So, but I love this duel because they're different runners. Herbert, he is fast. And when he gets out there, he's going to take off. When he can get out past these defenders, he's going to take off. Montgomery can pound the ball, and he is very good at just continuing the run. He just takes guys with him. So they're 2 different runners in a way, and it would be awesome next year. Think about it. If we have an offensive line, which we're going to work on in the off field, and we're going to have more receivers, and we just got a receiver, but we're going to have better ones next year. If you had this 1-2 punch of Herbert and Montgomery, man, and Montgomery can catch too, it would be just awesome, but it's probably not going to happen, but we'll see. So, okay, so then that's our rushing attack. We know it's solid. So then we're going to talk about our wide receivers. Mr. Mooney, he is leading the pack with 364 yards. Tyreek Hill on Miami is 961. Huge difference. So, yeah, Mooney has 364. He hasn't had any passing touchdowns yet. So, Mr. Mooney, let's get that changed this week, and let's get you a passing touchdown. Touchdown! St. Brown has 164 yards receiving. He has 1 touchdown. Our tight end, Clement, has 159 yards receiving with 1 touchdown. Pettis has 155 yards receiving with 2 touchdowns. And David Montgomery has 135 yards with 0 receiving touchdowns. Now, you could see by these numbers that, and I say it every week the day after the game, is Fields definitely spreads it around. He's been throwing to about 6 to 7 between the tight ends and the receivers and David Montgomery. He's been doing that. He's been spreading around, which I like. I'd like to see Harry, number 8, get into the mix. This should be his 3rd game, so he should be a little bit more comfortable now that he's played. This will be his 3rd starting game. I'd like to see him get in the mix a little bit more, and we'll see, of course, about our new addition, Claypool. We'll see what happens with him this week, but we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So let's finish up with the Bears defense. We have 13 sacks, we have 9 interceptions, 11 fumbles, and 4 were recovered. So I know that they've got more sacks. I think they had 15, I said. We have 13, so it's kind of comparable. We do have more interceptions. The fumbles are pretty much close. I like to see our defense continue the interception, get those up. I'd like to see those interceptions in double digits. I wouldn't mind seeing a couple sacks on Tua, but I don't know if that's going to happen, but we'll see. So we're actually pretty comparable with Miami, except for, like I said, they're way better in passing, and we're way better in running. So that's really the difference. The defenses are a lot alike, but as I said earlier in the show, they just added Bradley Chubb. They got him from Denver to Miami, and he is a really good defensive lineman, really good. So he's going to be coming. He's going to be coming. So the Bears offensive line, look out. They really help their cause there on defense, Miami. So we're going to have to see the Bears defense to win this game, or the Bears to win this game is obviously, we're going to talk about that, my threes. So let's talk about my threes. Penalties, time of possession, turnovers. So they've got to have 5 or less penalties. You want to have 5 or less penalties to be in the game, to give you a chance to win that game. You want to win the time of possession every week. Because, as I say every week, it keeps your offense on the field. It keeps their defense on the field. You can wear them down. It keeps our defense off the field and their offense off the field. So you want to win that time of possession. Although last week we won the time of possession handily, but lost that game. And the reason we won the time of possession last week and Dallas did not, it was because every time Dallas touched the ball, it was, I swear to God, it seemed like 4 or 5 plays, boom, touchdown. So they scored really quickly, and the Bears were on the field trying to come back. And they did a lot of running because we had 240 yards, I believe, in that game. So that's going to take up time, so that's why. But winning that time of possession, the score was bad, but it could have been way worse. I mean, I take 7 off because of that stupid that fumble. But so it's important. Okay, so you want to keep 5 or less penalties. You want to win that time of possession and your turnover battle. You want to win that turnover battle. So our defense has got to be ready to cause some turnovers because the Bears really, the chance of winning this game is getting some turnovers and getting the momentum in our direction. Keeping that running game running. We have got to do that because that does leave their defense on the field and their offense off the field because you're chewing up time on the clock when you're getting first downs on your runs. So you want to continue to do that. That'll give them. So the run has got to be solid again this week. The offensive line, I mean, I say it every week, they have got to protect Justin. They have got to give him time to throw. We gotta see that this week. We've got to see some more passes, and we got to see these damn wide receivers on the Bears catch them. I mean, when he throws them, freaking catch them. There's been so many times that they have dropped passes that they should have had. He's making these throws. Catch the damn ball. So, again, you've got to run. You've got to have the offensive line giving him time to get, because we're going to have to pass the ball. And Justin is going to have to make some good throws, and we're going to have to continue to score touchdowns to win this game offensively. Defensively, obviously, we're going to have to go over after Tua because he's a really good passer. And they've got, obviously, 961 for one receiver, and the second receiver, 727 yards. That's a lot of receiving yards in the air. So they're going to be, as I said, I believe that Miami's going to come out running first because we're so bad at it. And then they're going to mix in the pass, but then they're going to start throwing it. They're going to test our secondary. So our defense has got to try to get to Tua somehow. Get in his face, rush him. If you don't get the sacks, at least get in face, rush him, throw him off his game. We got to get some turnovers from the defense. That helps our offense. It changes the momentum of the game. And our backfield has got to really be on alert because this guy can throw, and he's got receivers. I think this is going to be the biggest test the Bears have had on receiving all year. I really don't think anybody else we've played has got the ability that Miami has. So it's going to be real interesting. Of course, we have to stop the run, as I said. So those are the things the Bears need to do to win this game and make no mistakes. You just got to keep the mistakes down. So they're at home. I believe in my heart they can win this game. They've got the ability. We've got some problems. Our defensive line is, and our linebackers are hurting because of trades. But next guy up, right? Next guy up. Let's see what we got. So, I don't predict wins, and I'm not going to start today. I'm just going to say I really hope. I would not be shocked if we saw an upset, because it would be an upset if the Bears won. There's no doubt about it. I would not be shocked. But we'll see. So go Bears. So that's what so let's talk about the trades, okay? I'm sure the phone lines have been blowing up in Illinois on what happened. So first, on Tuesday, Monday, I can't remember, Monday, Tuesday, it doesn't really matter. Roquan Smith was traded to the Ravens for a second round and a fifth round pick in the 2023 draft next year. And the Bears did pay the remaining part of his salary. So they wanted him gone. And a lot of people are don't understand it. They're pissed. I know. This is my take on it, and I'm going to tell you what Poles said. First, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to give you my take first. This is my take. He's his own agent. He doesn't have an agent, and the Bears were trying to negotiate in the offseason with him because his contract is up. And they wanted to negotiate with him. And it did not go well. It did not go well at all. And then he was saying, I want to be traded, and all that. So the Bears already are like, don't got a good feeling in their stomach about this, right? And apparently he was asking a lot of money. Roquan Smith is good. He is very good. But he is not an elite linebacker. I'm sorry, he's not. Doesn't mean he won't become one, but after 4 years, I don't feel he's elite. Yes, they say he had led the team in tackles the last couple of years. Well, I can tell you what, a lot of reasons he's leading in tackles is because our defensive line is terrible and they can't stop anybody. So they get by them, and the next attack is our linebackers. So they're there to make the tackles. So that's one of the reasons. But he does fly all over the field. He's a talented kid. Do not get me wrong. So the Bears weren't happy with how it went in the offseason. Being his own agent is always a problem, and that's why most players don't do it. And then, when the Bears traded Quinn, and I think this is what really Poles saw, when he traded Quinn last week, he was sitting in the press conference, and he was like, I need a minute, and he was doing this, and he was just like, And I'm thinking, he's thinking in his head, I'm not sticking around for this. I really do. And I think that light bulb went off in the Bears' upper, like Poles and Coach Flu said, And then he, pretended like he was crying and this and that. Okay, fine. You're upset. Quinn was traded. But on Sunday's game, when we played Dallas, you didn't hear Smith's number at all that day. You didn't even see him in any of the plays. And if he was really that upset and really wants to be a team player, he should have stepped up in that locker room for that defense, and he should have showed it on the field. And that's what I believe between what happened over the summer and then last week and then Sunday's game where you did not see or hear his name. I think the Bears said, we're not going to sign this guy. He doesn't really want to be a Chicago Bear, and it's not going to happen. So they said, let's go see what we can get for him. And I think it's a great trade. I do believe that. And Poles basically said the same thing. I think it was yesterday or Wednesday. He said, listen, he was very transparent. He said, we had difficulty negotiating with him. He wanted a trade. He didn't seem happy. You know what? The writing was on the wall. They didn't feel they could get this kid signed. So he went and did the next best thing. And the next best thing helped us. But one thing before I get onto that, though, I will tell you one thing. My guess is he will not be a Raven in next year because Lamar Jackson, their quarterback, his contract's up, I believe, too, and they're working on that, and he is his own agent, too, and they tried to do a new contract in the offseason, and because he was his own agent, they couldn't get that done, the Ravens. So the Ravens aren't going to deal with two players who are demanding a lot of money and their own agent. It's not going to happen. So, Jackson, the quarterback, is really good, so they're going to deal with him. So you've heard it here. Roquan Smith will not be a Raven next year. I'm just saying. But this trade did help for the next trade. The next day, The last day for the trading deadline, the Bears went to Pittsburgh and got their one of their wide receivers, Chase Claypool, who is in the middle of his third year of rookie contract. So we've got a year and a half left with this guy. His rookie contract is not up until 2023. So how we got him was, after we traded Roquan, we had 2 second-round picks. One was the Bears pick, and one was the Ravens pick. Okay, so the Bears are going to lose more, so they're going to have a better second-round pick. The Ravens are going to probably win more. They are going to win more, and their second-round pick is going to be higher. So, but when we traded, we got Claypool. We gave them our second-round draft pick for Claypool. That's how we got him. So they got our second-round draft pick. So next year we've got I know 8 right now. And I'm digging this. So one trade helped the other trade. We got a receiver that no one saw coming. Now, is he the top of the class? No, he's good. Is he Tyreek Hill? God, no. But we don't know. The kid's he's young. He's 24. He's in his third year of his career. The potential could be, we don't even know. And you never know about the chemistry with him and Fields. Could be fantastic. So it's a good start. I really like this. I think it was a really great trade. I really do. And, I'm digging Poles. I really am. Now, we've got a lot to see in the offseason. What he's going to do is going to have a lot, because the Bears have right now, as I said, we've got a first round again this year, thank God. And the Bears have a lot of money to spend in free agency. So it's going to be interesting. But these trades were great. And I'm sure a lot of people, no one can be unhappy about getting the wide receiver, let's face it. And whether he plays a lot, I don't know if we'll see a lot, because he just got there. But I do know he went to Notre Dame, and our tight end, Clement, he went to Notre Dame, and they were both on the team together. And I was reading what Clement was saying, and he said that Claypool is just like he's got a lot of energy, and he brings the locker room up. He, loves to play, and he's going to be a bonus to this team, and I'm digging it. So, and the other bonus is it was between the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers who was going to get Claypool, and we got him. Right on. Of course, we gave him our second-round pick, and that's why. But still. So the one thing, I like them. I like all 3 trades. I think that they were, I'm sure that defense is like, oh, man, we got nobody left. But you know what? You got to know the Bears are doing what I haven't seen them do since the 80s, the late 70s and 80s, under Jim Finks was our GM. He built that team from the ground up with rookies and young players, and we were good throughout the 80s. We were, starting in 83 through early 90s. So I like that Poles is doing this. It's awesome. So I really, and then on Sunday, we have a homegrown kid, Jack Sanborn, number 57. He's a linebacker. He went to Lake Zurich High School, and he should be getting an opportunity to play in this game. So Jack was undrafted, and because he's not huge, he's not super big, and he's not super fast. But being tall isn't a big concern for me, because we had this one guy on the Bears in the 80s, our middle linebacker, and he was not a tall man. I think his name was Mike Singletary, and he was fucking awesome. But Jack Sanborn is not Michael Singletary. I'm Mike Singletary. I know that. But let's see what Jack's got. We don't know. So bring him in. You sign these guys. Let's see what they got. So that's what's going to happen going the rest of the season, is we're going to see these young guys in there, and we're going to see who steps up and becomes the next guy. And but I loving what Poles and Coach Flus are doing, and keep it up. You're headed in the right direction. I feel we're going to have a good off season, and and let's get some wins the rest of the season. Like I say, let's do an upset this week. It would be pretty fun. All right, I'm getting close to I have to sign off. But I did want to say one thing I heard. My son sent me this last weekend. He sent me this clip from Rich Eisen. Rich Eisen is a TV sports guy. He does on, is it ESPN? Yes, I think so. And then he has a radio show. Rich Eisen's been around forever. Everybody knows who he is. So he was talking the other day about fourth downs and how everyone's going on it for fourth down. I mean, the Bears even went for it. Was it last week in their own territory, and they went for it on fourth down. So he was talking about how fourth down, there is like no such thing now. There, punting's down because everybody's going for it on fourth down, and it really changes the complex of the game. Some people like it, some people don't. I'm not digging it. So I was saying that to my son last week. I'm like, I'm getting sick of this fourth down shit all the time. I mean, I don't know. I know a lot of people might disagree, but anyway, so I was just saying this and giving them examples and this and that I think sometimes these coaches are going for fourth down too soon. They're chasing points and this and that. Rich Eisen said the same thing on his show, his TV show, about not digging the fourth down and why is it always so crazy and why is everybody going for it. And I just thought that was pretty dang cool. I'm like, hey, this old lady knows what she's talking about. I know. So, yeah, I'm like, yeah, Rich, right on. Somebody's hearing me. So, I just had to throw that in. I got to give myself a little pump up. So, that's it. I told you what we need to do to win this game. We talked about the trades. I hope, after everybody settled down, they see it was a good week for the Bears. Their future looks bright. So let's keep it up and let's get a shocker this week and let's beat Miami. I don't care if you beat them by 1 point, although creaming them would be a lot of fun. Probably not going to happen, but whatever. Okay, that's it. You know what's happening. That's my show. I did want to, I do always pump up. I do a podcast now on Wednesday nights. The tag show is Bears Country Podcast. The show title is The Lowdown with Dan and Lynn. It's my buddy in Atlanta. I'm in Vegas. We both lived in Illinois. We found out just miles apart when we hooked up about a month and a half ago. And he invited me to be on. Now we're doing it every week, and we just love doing it. It's great. Sometimes we do them live, and sometimes we don't. But check us out. We really have a lot of fun. We just kind of banter back and forth, and Dan, he's great. He's great. And Dan's going to be at the game on Sunday, so I'm told him you got to bring home a victory. So check out that show, too. And, of course, keep watching this show. And you know what? Again, thank you. I got over 300. I have 308 subscribers. My new goal is 400. I appreciate it. Please tell everybody. Come check me out. I'm fun. I'm factual. And I know my shit. And I'd like to give myself credit. Anyway, so thank you all for watching me. I always appreciate the support. I say it every week, but I really, really mean it. And on that note, I sign off every show like this. Be kind to one another. Help someone out if they need it. Stop hate. Love one another. And smile at people and be happy. We're Bears fans. We're tough people. It's tough times, so let's get through it together, okay, friends? And on that note, I guess, go Bears. Let's get an upset and beat those Miami Dolphins. Come on. Let's beat those Dolphins. Run them down. Let's run up the score. Let's run all over them. Let's pass all over them. Come on. Can you tell I'm really excited today? So, go Bears. I love you guys. And on that note, and make sure you keep watching, keep on rocking and rolling from Vegas, baby. Peace out.